Here's a neat little trick that I'd like to show you. It uses a regular deck of playing cards, and they are a regular deck because you can borrow these from a spectator. 52 cards, and you're going to make a prediction, in fact 2 predictions on this trick, and they're in front of me on the table all the time. You cut the pack roughly in half and you give half to the spectator and half to yourself. You both shuffle the cards. Now you have to believe me, this really is a genuine shuffle. You're not going to get the spectator to do it in some sort of funny way. It is a genuine shuffle, and you also shuffle your cards as well. When they give you the cards back, this is the good bit. They have a free choice. They can choose to use the cards they just shuffled or your cards. It's entirely up to them. We'll go for these cards, but remember there is a free choice. With the cards that we got, just to prove that they're shuffled and that they are in a random order, just take a look at those. They really are in a random mixed order. You're then going to just split the cards roughly in half. Again, when you perform this trick, it doesn't have to be exact. But there's 2 halves of cards. You invite 2 spectators up onto the stage to help you with this. And you give each spectator a half of card. Now this is where all the fun comes, because now they've got to battle it out, because they're going to deal 7 cards onto the first prediction card. And they take it in turns. They can either alternate, or this person can deal 2 and this one can deal 4 and 1. It doesn't really matter. What they're trying to do is to totally mix up the cards. So this spectator may deal 2. This one deals 1. This deals 1. That gives us 4 cards, 5, 6 and maybe 7. You say to them, okay, you've got different amounts of cards now because you dealt more than the other person, but let's make it fairer. Rather than you seeing the cards and just their backs, let's turn them face up. Now both spectators can do this. They turn their cards face up so they can actually see the faces. They then repeat the procedure of dealing 7 playing cards randomly on here. So this person might go first, then this one lays a couple, this one lays 1, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. The rest of the cards are just gathered up and put on the table. Now the predictions. The cards have been here all the time. My first prediction was that in this pile, despite being shuffled, you will have 4 blacks and 3 reds. Let's take a look. 4 blacks, 1, 2, 3, 4 blacks and 3 red cards. The prediction is correct. On the other side, where they actually saw the colours and they could choose at random, I predicted they would have 5 red cards and 2 black. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red and 2 black. The prediction is correct. But remember, the cards were borrowed, they were shuffled, you chose which half to use, they randomly dealt the cards, I couldn't have known that. But the cards that are remaining here, as a magician, because we're used to using cards, we know that there's a different weight content between black ink and red ink, and by me just feeling the weight of these cards, yeah, I got a feeling that there's 2 more, there's 2 more red cards than there are black. And I haven't even looked at them. Let's take a look. So I say there's 2 more red cards than there are black. Let's take a look at the red. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 red. In which case there should be 6 black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's a prediction. The trick you've just seen, called Predictable, is a very simple setup to make it work. It is almost self-working, but you do need to stack the deck, as though you couldn't have guessed. Now, let's just go through the stages, first of all it does need a setup. The predictions that I used were the first prediction to be 4 blacks and 3 reds. The second prediction was 5 reds and 2 blacks. So to set this up, this is how you do it. I need 4 blacks and 3 reds. Now I need that because that's what the prediction was first of all. So this is going to be the first pile we set up. Now at first this might seem a little bit confusing, but once you've set this up a few times it becomes pretty easy. We have to lay these cards out, the 7 cards, in a particular order. And I don't mean black, red, black, red. What I mean is that it's got to be the same at one end as it is at the other. Let me demonstrate. My prediction involved the 4 blacks and 3 reds. So I'm going to lay this out, and if I lay a black there and one at the other end, if I put a red, I put a red at the other end. I then put a black and a black and then finally a red. Now if you look at this, visualize what I've just laid out here, you'll see it's almost a mirror image. It's like a reflection. If I put my hand down the middle, what is here is reflected here. You'll see I've got a black, a red, a black, and then finally a red. Now it doesn't have to be that way. Let me demonstrate another way. Let's say we put 2 blacks there, 2 black cards there, and 3 in the middle. Now again, if I put my hand down the middle, you'll see this is almost a reflection of this. I've got 2 blacks at the end, 2 blacks at the end there. Then we've got a red, red, and a red in the middle. So this is the way that you lay these cards out. And that's all you've got to do for the setup. Once you've done this once or twice, it becomes second nature. So that would work. There's my first stack. I need to repeat that for the second stack of cards. So we'll put 3 red and then 2 black there. We can square these cards up and just move them to one side. My second prediction, where we dealt the cards face up, was 5 reds and 2 blacks. So I need 5 red cards, 3, 4, 5, and 2 black cards. And again, it doesn't matter how you lay these out, as long as they look identical at either end of the stack. So here we've got, let's say I put a black there, a black there, and then all the reds. If you look at this, if I put my hand down the middle, we got a reflection here of this. Okay, black, black, red, 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 and then red in the middle. That's it. That's all you've got to do, as long as this end matches that end. I'll set up another one, black there, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red and 1 black there. Now this was the second prediction. These are just dropped on top of the first pile that we set up, and then we can then put these 2 packets together, because remember, in the routine I split the pack and gave one half to one person, the second half to another person, and they dealt the cards out in random. Now what I will do is, because I need to split these cards exactly in half, I'm going to use this king as a marker. So when I put these together, I know where the split line is. There's my stack. I can't shuffle or mix those up. They're all done. If you watch the routine, you'll notice that if I introduce the rest of the cards, I did some false shuffles, and we eventually magician forced one packet onto the spectator. We got rid of the rest of the cards, and that left us with this half of cards. I then showed the spectator that they're all in a mixed order. What I was actually doing was looking for my marker card. There it is there, the King of Spades. As I went through, when I squared the cards up, I obtained a break. Now I'm holding quite a big break there so the camera can pick this up. We then squared them up, and then I said, look, I tell you what, I split the cards in half. I just pretend to dribble down and split the pack roughly in half. In fact, they're exactly in half. At this point, the trick works itself. You give one half to one spectator and another half, and they can then begin to deal the cards out in whichever order. They start off face down. Now, it really is a random choice. The spectators can deal in any order. So say, for example, this spectator deals 4 cards. This person deals 1 card. This one deals 1, and then this one. As long as you end up with 7 cards there. Now, because the top of these are all mixed up now in a different balance, we then pretend to be a little bit open and say, instead of dealing them face down, let's turn your cards face up. The spectators turn their cards face up. We've now got our second stack that we set up at the bottom. They then deal 7 cards in random again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It makes no difference what way round. The rest of the cards you can gather up. Now, let me look at the final part of the routine which I added in. In the remaining cards that I was using, I would always have 2 more red cards than black, and you can see that here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black cards, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red cards, and you can just add that on. And I did the routine of, or you can feel the weight of the ink on the cards. You don't have to do that part of the routine, that's just optional. Let's return to our predictions. You show the prediction cards, and this one will say it's got 4 black and 3 red. And when you turn the cards over, they will always have, it doesn't matter how they deal the cards, they'll have 4 black, 3 red. This one will always have 5 red and 2 black. Now, although the setup of the cards may seem a little bit daunting at first, if you watch this video back a couple of times, watch the routine, you should gather how the whole trick works. Enjoy.